The mood is tense. I have been on some serious reports, but nothing quite like this.
I also want to touch on, Savannah, too, the Supreme Court, and this is another thing that Pence did from a tactical perspective. He actually is the one who asked Kamala Harris about what's called packing the court, this idea that Democrats, if they control the Senate and the White House, might add justices to the Supreme Court.
I think the American people really deserve an answer, Senator Harris. Are you and Joe Biden going to pack the court if Judge Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed? Now, you've refused to answer the question. Joe Biden has refused to answer the question. So I think the American people would really like to know, if Judge Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed to the Supreme Court of the United States, are you and Joe Biden, if somehow you win this election, going to pack the Supreme Court to get your way?
I'm so glad we went through a little history lesson. Let's do that a little more. In 1864...
Well, I'd like you to answer the question.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay.
And Kamala Harris wouldn't answer that question. She sort of deflected instead. And that reflects some tensions in the Democratic Party, that there is pressure from the left to do this. And it's something that makes centrists in the party uncomfortable.
Harris wouldn't answer the question about the court packing. And that's significant.
I think after last week, they should have had a better answer than the non-answer that she gave.
Geologists call it hydraulic fracturing. It is commonly described as fracking. What Senator Harris said is Joe Biden has very clear that he would not end fracking. We rate that as inconclusive because July 31st, 2019, when asked about that, Vice President Biden left a very strong impression that fracking would be eliminated, and he would say there'd be no more subsidies for it. His position has since evolved. March 2020, he said in a debate, no new fracking would be allowed. Then he has said he's opposed to ending fracking at all. So he has an evolving record on this question of fracking.
What in the name?
He pivoted and used the time to deliver a direct attack against Joe Biden's long record in Washington. And I was stunned because I thought that Kamala Harris, the former prosecutor and skilled debater, from many of the primaries, would be able to make sure that it was the Trump record that was on defense. And many times it seemed like Kamala was on defense.
No!
I heard him.
Let's bring in Nicole Killian, who is at the debate site. And Nicole, your take.
Well, look, I think it was interesting from a number of standpoints. One notable moment came towards the end of the debate where the senator did not answer the question with regard to the issue of court packing. That is something that we saw in last week's debate as well, when the former vice president was pressed on that issue in light of the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett and whether or not Democrats, if they are to win in the election, if they would then try to pack the court, depending on how this all plays out. And so this is actually something that I put to her chief of staff earlier today, if we would get a clear answer from the senator on this, and clearly she did not.
I think Vice President Pence gave the best economic argument. He said the economy is on the ballot, the American comeback is on the ballot. He made the best case, tying tax policy, climate policy, the Green New Deal. He really had Senator Harris on the defensive. He was very strong on the economy. He really had Kamala Harris on the defense, specifically on the Green New Deal and the impact that would have on jobs and taxes. So I thought he did a great job.
Do you even know what you just said?
2 debates now in a row where neither Vice President Biden nor Senator Harris would answer that question about what Democrats are going to do if indeed Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed in these next couple of weeks. Will Democrats pack the court?
Well, again, this is a stacking of hypotheticals. It is distracting from what they're trying to do right now.
And yet it was Pence who actually really held her feet to the fire. At one point, he said, I just want the record to reflect she never answered the question.
Oh, great Odin's Raven.
Nice work, everyone. Great story. Compelling and rich. Well, that's going to do it for all of us here at Channel 4 News. You stay classy, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy.